What's Good podcast.
Are you ready?
Your number.
Hey, ladies and gents, this is your girl, Brianna Javine, and we are at the last episode of What's Good podcast, and this is season 4. I am super grateful for everyone that's been listening and for the new people that came through this season. Thank you so much for just, taking a chance and listening to What's Good podcast. I'm very, very thankful, and I just want to go over everyone that was featured this season. We had Adiola, Kiera, Marcus, Alyssa with what is her Harrison Hollis, and who else did we have? Wildcard Wednesday, Jay Will, Joshua Wilson. We had Janet and Eric with Eye Blinds, Darian and Dr. Kalina with Pro Black Health, Harvey LeCount with Lee's Management, and he also has Opulence by Lee. And then we have Michelle Robinson with Demi Blue. Levi Henderson, he has what is called I Sang. Karen Spencer with KJJ Gold Lux. Can't forget the Lux. Okay. Derek Turner. Derek has Prep District clothing line. Lauren Wilson was a wild card Wednesday. That's my girl. The Imperfect Woman. I love it so much. Imperfect. Let me make sure I say that correctly. The Imperfectly Phenomenal Woman. That's correct. And then we had Taquisha Titus with Sweet November. And then Duewa Gordon with Essence. And then we have another wild card Wednesday. Stay tuned. We have an amazing actual wild card Wednesday that we're ending this season with. So make sure that you stay tuned. This Wednesday, it will be announced. I'm excited. But anyway, this season was amazing to me. Pretty much one of my really great not take backs, one of my takeaways for this season was relationships. Pretty much new and old relationships for this season. A lot of the people on this season were people that I knew when I first got started with the podcast. When it comes to Harvey, he actually came to my very first launch, which were really just family and friends. He was there as a plus one. And me and him just kept in contact ever since then. With Duewa, she came to my very first wrap up party. She was one of the vendors, and I just kept up with her since then. Taquisha, she was one of the vendors as well for the wrap up party, and I just kept in touch with her as well. And who else am I thinking about? I'm just trying to see who else was on this season that was just on my head. Kiera, I met her through Motivate Your Womb. Shout out to Mo. And I was like, girl, I need for you to come on here, share your products, and let's just tell the people about you, period. Okay. And she came through, and it was just amazing to just sit down with people that I've been knowing for a very long time, because I've been a podcaster for like 2.5 years now, and me learning about them. And it's been such a long time, but I've never had an intimate conversation with them. Even though I've been with Harvey, we've been chatting for a very long time, just networking and just communication, just being a friend. I didn't know that side of lean management, what he went through, just different things that we talked about. I was like, wow, like my friend is a real CEO out here. It's just so amazing to just have those intimate conversations. Having conversations as friends and having conversations on how you run your business, I think it's two different conversations that's needed within your circle. I saw it somewhere on Instagram where if you're not having conversations with your friends as elevation, new businesses, what are you investing in, and things of that nature, then you need to surround yourself with a new circle. So it's just amazing where these old relationships that I have, we're having these conversations of how we're going to elevate our business, what investments look like, how else we're going to monetize our business and our passions and our hobbies and things of that nature. It was a true blessing just sitting behind this camera and this microphone and just them allowing me to pick their head. Now, for the new relationships, Pro Black Health, I love them. Such a beautiful couple. I definitely recommend that you guys go and support their vitamins. They're just a beautiful couple, and I'm just very thankful that they allowed me to interview them. When I first got on their page, I was like, wow, they have a huge following. Either way, I'm going to reach out and we're going to make this thing happen. And Darian reached out and was like, hey, when do you want to make this thing happen with the interview? And I was like, what? He responded. So it was just a very blessed situation that God allowed that door to open. I was very nervous. As you guys can see, I didn't want my background to be the particular background with that with pro black health. So I decided to do a pink background. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I preach all the time about being genuine. I don't feel like I was being genuine within that particular interview because I put up a facade with putting a pink background. I'm like, girl, be yourself and do you, okay? In the conversation, I felt like I was being mean, but I felt like I had to put up this whole aesthetic situation because of their following and who they are. I just looked up to them and I just loved everything that they were doing. So I just wanted to make sure I presented myself as being professional, and I feel like I was doing too much. But that was a lesson that I learned. Even with Demi Blue, I love Miss Michelle. Beautiful soul. I loved her so much. I had to legit pull over in my car and do the interview, y'all. Behind the scenes, my phone ended up dying in the middle of that interview only because I was pulled over and it got hot, overheated my phone, and it died. So, preparation is definitely key, and just doing what you can at the time of what you got. Simple. Because she had no idea that I was in my car. I told her later, I was like, you know what? My phone died because I'm in my car. I did not want to reschedule with you. I was in traffic much longer than I thought, but I did not want to, reschedule. I had all my equipment with me. I was like, why not? It's virtual. Let me just put my phone up and make this thing happen. It ended up working amazingly, but at the same time, I felt so bad. The interview was amazing, but I just felt so bad because I was like I was in my car. But at the end of the day, this is my business. I understand that you have to be professional. But I did not want to reschedule. I just didn't want to reschedule. And I had everything with me. I was like, why reschedule and you can just record from your car? And that's what I did. And we made it happen. And I'm very thankful for Miss Michelle being patient with me. But as far as relationships, you guys, I definitely want to talk about that as a takeaway because it meant so much to me. The new relationships and the old relationships, and just showing how we just show up for one another. I learned something from them, they learned something from me. I'm sharing them with my audience, and I hope everybody that's listening, you guys are purchasing and supporting them as well. And that's what it's just all about. I was talking to somebody about the Bible and God, creation of us, and things of that nature, and it's all about people. It's all about people. It's all about networking. It's all about coming together. It's about our tribe, and it's just all about just pushing each other up to elevate, support, um, just elevating one another and encouraging each other and things of that nature. And I could say that's really what I felt this season. Not saying I didn't feel that the other seasons. It's just this one was personal because everything just came in full circle for me. But as far as a takeaway, definitely the professionalism, ladies and gents. When I recorded from my car, I was like, God, dog, homegirl, you got to do better. Give yourself grace, ladies and gents that's listening to this. Not everything is going to be perfect. I wanted to reschedule so bad, but that conversation probably wouldn't have been as good if I recorded it a second time. And so I did with what I had, like I did what I had to do. But later, when I was thinking about it, just make sure that I give myself enough time to get through traffic, get home, set up, press play, and make it happen. And even getting your mindset together before you press play is a serious thing. I know I've created that as a tidbit post, and make sure to y'all follow the blog. Um, just making sure that you clear out your head before you record or before you interview or before you do a what is it called when you do a live Instagram video. It's very important to escape whatever you went through beforehand before you press play and record, and just be creative in that creative space because you're going to get distracted. So moving forward, that is something that I am going to take in consideration, is making sure that I have that time to get home or get to the studio or get to the lounge. Shout out to Java Lounge. I'm still here and recording. But just making sure that I make that preparation before recording, and make sure I get home or whatever destination, make sure I clear my mind before I head into those interviews, because it's very important to me that I show up for them just like they're showing up to just be interviewed. So I'm very thankful for everyone. Thank everyone for just coming through and just allowing me to pick y'all head. Um, as far as another takeaway, this season I noticed how much people actually listen to the podcast. People are watching me. And I just want to put that out in general. Just because the money is not in your pocket, because you're doing so much movement with your business, just because you're hustling and things of that nature, does not mean that people are not watching you. The reason I want to bring that up is because we try so hard with our business and we feel like nobody is watching. I am telling you right now that that is false. Just because you don't see the likes, just because you don't see the pat on the backs from people, just because you don't see the compliments and the feedback, does not mean that people are not watching you. I'm saying all this to say I have received so many opportunities this season. For an example, with the kickback, I am now the general manager with them, and we could not figure out for nothing how we got in communication. Is because after we sat down and we discussed it, he slid into my DMs and was like, "Hey, Bree, I love what you're doing. Let's connect. Let's work together," and things of that nature. So now moving forward with the radio station, he's built it and it's beautiful. Y'all got to come through. Um, I am now helping people podcasting, radio, hosting, whatever that looks like. We're going to make sure that people have their shows. I'll help you format your shows. Pretty much everything that I do as far as like my tidbits and my tips, I'm providing you this in person so we can make sure you show up and show out for your audience on the radio. I'm super excited. I never thought that I would be here, but it's just to let you guys know that people are watching. Just because they don't tell you now does not mean that you're not going to receive those flowers later. So just keep working, keep doing what you're doing, keep putting that effort into it, making sure that you're professional, make sure that you are consistent and genuine to the person that you are, and make sure that you be true to yourself. Don't change for anything, because people are watching. People are seeing when you change up. People are seeing if it's a facade. People are seeing if you're genuine and you're authentic. People are seeing your walk. People are seeing your purpose. People are seeing that you are living out what God gave you. People are looking at things. So I just want to put it out there. That was another takeaway for me, is for me to continue to push and for me to continue to just be here for you guys, because I'm looking at the feedback, I'm looking at the comments, I'm looking at the reviews, and I just appreciate it because it's showing that I'm doing this for a reason. You guys are learning more about businesses and creatives here in the local community, and I ultimately want to do this in every local city. I want to do this in every community. I want to do this in Los Angeles. What's good, Los Angeles? And I know I've talked about this before, but it's really on my mind to do this. Not just taking what's good on the road, but just being a connection for people to know what's in their backyard. If that means hosting events, if that means doing the podcast, if that means me going to another podcaster out into another city and we're just helping each other grow and build, whatever that looks like, because I know that's what me and Lauren talked about on our podcast. I just want people to know that there's amazing people right here in your backyard without trying or going to that bigger person because you see them having a blue check mark or seeing them in different commercials that's on your TV. There's people right here in our backyard, y'all, that are doing amazing things. And that's why I want to use my platform to expose those people. And not expose them in a bad way, because that can use it can have a negative connotation. But just broadening, is that how you said the word? But just adding knowledge of knowing what's there in your community. That's all that I'm saying. And so when it goes back to relationships, as I started this episode, I really just want to connect everybody. That's pretty much it. And so, with all that being stated, just push through. People are watching you, people want to support you. I talk to entrepreneurs all day, and their whole thing is people have been pouring into them, that they want to pour into other people. And so if you need help, everybody that comes on this show, they're like, if you want to start this, just DM me. I hope y'all are using these opportunities and reaching out to these folks, because they have businesses, they have songs, they have product, they have services, they have what you may be looking to start. So if you have somebody that is experienced in what you're trying to do and they're saying, hey, reach out to me, build those relationships, because they don't want you to knock your head on the wall like they knocked their head on the wall. They want you to learn from their lessons. So please, y'all, reach out to the people that's on my platform, because they're so open to help. They've helped me with a plethora of things, and I hope that you guys receive it as well. But that is pretty much it for this wrap up of season 4. I'll be putting out a survey of who we should choose for season 5 as the theme. I'm thinking, since we have pretty much open due to COVID-19, everything is opening up. I want to I want to talk to those companies that didn't do so well through COVID. And now they're back in action and they need all the business possible for them to sustain and keep going and keep growing. So if that's caterers, I'm thinking about adding caterers on there, event planners, wedding coordinators, things of that nature, because as we know, there were no events. So the event coordinators couldn't get money. People who catered couldn't cater events because all of them were getting closed. So those are the type of companies and industries that I want to cover. So just let me know what you guys choose, and we are going to bring that theme on the show for next season, for season 5. So I'm excited. I'm very thankful for you guys listening. Um, as we always end the show, if you're listening to this or watching this, because we're also on YouTube, y'all run them numbers up on YouTube. We ended this season with, I think, 4,300 downloads. And just a couple of weeks ago, we hit 4,000. So if we're doing this well, let me make sure I'm giving y'all the right numbers. Okay, so we're a little below 4,300. But if we are hitting these type of numbers in audio, where y'all at to actually watch these visuals, okay? Because I done bought equipment this season for me to get some clear visuals, okay? I done really tried my best to make this season look amazing. So y'all go on YouTube and y'all watch these videos, y'all comment, y'all like, y'all subscribe, whatever that looks like, come through, okay? We are there on YouTube. But anyway, if you're watching or listening to this, make sure that you subscribe, review, and just share the wealth. So if you're listening to this morning, noon, evening, or night, thank you guys so much for tuning in to season 4 of What's Good podcast with your girl, Brianna Javon. Stay tuned to the kickback because we have a lot of things going on. So make sure that you follow the kickback. And I will see y'all season 5. And make sure you tune in to our last Wildcard Wednesday of this season. Comes out this Wednesday. Thank you guys.